Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors! On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at the latest Obi-Wan Kenobi Droid Factory set from the Disney parks. Hopefully we'll see more figures from the Kenobi series in the vintage collection, but until then, these droids are an excellent addition to your collection. I am very happy to finally have this set, and hopefully everybody was able to order one of these when they were available through Shop Disney. Their availability seemed to be very on and off, but I was fortunate enough to pick up one of these when they were priced at $30, and it just took a while to process and ship, but I finally have it, and I'm very excited to open this up and add these to my Kenobi collection. Taking a look at the packaging, we have nothing new here when it comes to Disney and their Droid Factory offerings. We have their classic box with 4 droids inside and a sticker representing the series that they are from. We have R3-T2, Ned B, a Viper Probe Droid, and 1 Jack. On the back, we have some images of the droids included in the set, showing their appearance in the Kenobi series. And in the top left corner, a general description of droids within the Star Wars universe. So, as I mentioned before, there's nothing too spectacular when it comes to the Droid Factory packaging. I'm not somebody who keeps one of these carded, so I'm definitely opening these up, and let's do so and let these figures free from their bubbles. And here we have the figures out of the package, and they are without a doubt a good looking bunch of droids. Lately, I've been very motivated to collect the majority of the Droid Factory offerings, but this Kenobi set was one that I really wanted to get into my collection because unfortunately we have not gotten that many figures from that series into the vintage collection. Characters like Ned B and 1 Jack absolutely deserve to be in the vintage collection and have their own vintage style card. Hopefully we see some improvement by Hasbro in the future and they start to get us more and more figures from newer media, but that is a topic for another discussion. And first up we have R3-T2, a droid you may or may not be familiar with. This Astromech is seen rolling around the streets of Tatooine during A New Hope and now in the Kenobi series. It's definitely a cool one to get and a fan favorite. We had previously gotten this droid in an Entertainment Earth droid pack, and as you can see he's got a brown dome here. And there's always been debate whether or not the dome was supposed to be brown or red, but Disney has made the decision and given us this excellent version with a red dome, which I definitely think looks a lot better than the Entertainment Earth version, so that's good stuff to see. Taking a closer look, we have our classic Build-A-Droid Astromech that we see with all the Disney Parks releases. Looks pretty good, and he's got some nice weathering down below that really just makes him look like he's been on Tatooine for a while, and he's been going on several adventures and just rolling around town. So, all in all, a good release. He's got swivel dome, he's got some articulation down below, his legs swivel, and this is removable and can also be placed back on. So all in all, a good release and one that you're going to want for your Tatooine displays. While this character may not have had the most screen time when compared to the others, it's a must-have for any fan wishing to complete their Tatooine displays. The Build-A-Droid mold is what I consider definitive when it comes to Astromechs, and the figure can be posed relatively well. Additionally, the excellent paint applications and update to the red dome make this droid an exciting release in my opinion. And here we have the star of the 4-pack, Ned B. Definitely a character that many of us were excited when we first saw him in the Kenobi series. This is a figure I was definitely hoping to add to my collection. I'm very happy, that Disney was able to provide him. I still think this is a great candidate for a vintage style packaging, and if we get some nice vintage treatment on here, maybe a little bit more articulation and paint applications, that would be great. I wouldn't mind getting another one. But regardless, we were able to get him this way, and it's nice to have him. He's got pretty decent articulation, just swivel shoulders. He does have a ball joint at the elbow. It doesn't provide the most movement. It doesn't do a full 90 degrees. And his wrist doesn't really turn or anything, so he's kind of just stuck in that little bit of a position, which is, it's okay, He wasn't the most acrobatic character, but more articulation is always nice. He's got this nice blue detailing here that, you saw on the show. I really like that pop of blue. I think it looks nice. He's got some more blue detail up top by his neck area. And you can see some of that as well on the back. He's got swivel thighs with a ball jointed knee, which is pretty nice, as well as ball jointed ankles. No rockers, unfortunately, but as I said, this character didn't do a whole lot of acrobatics in the series, so regardless, he will look good with my Kenobi figures, and I'm excited to have this one now in my collection. Sadly, these accessories are not included, but I was able to pick up his hammer from the Retro Collection version, which I did pick up. I'm not a big retro collection collector, but I saw the hammer and I knew that I would need it for one day when I had this Ned B in my possession. So that was something that I definitely wanted to add to my figure. And unfortunately, he also does not come with a blaster. You see him use this weapon in the series, and it's the same type of blaster that our B1 battle droids use. Unfortunately, his hands don't actually grip the weapon the way that it's designed. I had to slice this little handle with an X-Acto just at the bottom area in order for his hand to fit. So that was pretty cool that I was able to kind of modify that because I really wanted him to have that weapon and be able to hold it. Ned B will make an excellent addition to my Kenobi collection and starport as well. Not only can this loader droid haul cargo, but it can hold its own on the front lines. Even with its limited articulation, the figure can achieve some striking battle poses when paired with his hammer or blaster pistol. Sadly, these accessories are not included, but most collectors should be able to track them down for display in their collection. And moving on, we have the most disappointing figure of the pack, and it is this one Jack, which is very unfortunate because this bounty hunter was really exciting to see in the series. At first, when we saw him in the trailers, many people thought it was Forlom, and we were just excited to see this type of droid in action. Why Disney chose to use this newer mold that they made rather than using this perfectly good Forlom figure that they released not so long ago really baffles many of us. You can just see that, this figure on the left is far superior looking and just the sculpting's perfect. It is slightly bigger, like the scale is nice, and all they simply had to do was just repaint this figure and give him some blasters and that bandolier, and man, we would have had a really nice one Jack, but that is very unfortunate. Despite the issues with this figure, I'm still happy to add him to my collection. He's got some wonderful paint application on his eyes. I think that shine just really looks nice. The gunmetal color that they used on him also looks fantastic. He's got some nice detail down here on the wirings on his torso area. And all in all, pretty decent looking. The bandolier, unfortunately, is sculpted into the figure, which is a bit of an annoyance. I don't know why they would do that either. And the biggest bummer is the weapons are attached to his leg for some reason. I think they're glued in there. I can't tell if it's a peg that's inserted and then glued. I might try to see if I can free them later in the future because that just bothers me so much. Why would you put weapons on this figure if you can't use them? Which is also, if you take a look at the hands, why? I have so many questions. He can't even grip a weapon. But regardless, he has some positives. He looks pretty good. We do have the figure now. Other than that, he does have pretty decent articulation. Swivel at the hips with a ball jointed knee, swivel ankles. He's got, your typical range of motion on the arms when it comes to a protocol droid. I do think that these arms are actually easily removable, as you can see, and that would allow me to put a different Build-A-Droid arm on him and then have one with a closed grip hand so he can actually hold weapons. Despite this figure's use of a lesser mold, it still has some decent display to it. One Jack is able to pose in a walking stance as he tracks down Kenobi on the streets of Daiyu. Sadly, if the figure was equipped with proper hands allowing for a closed grip, it would have displayed much better in my opinion. The figure is able to loosely carry a weapon with two hands, but it's far from perfect. And lastly, we have the Viper Probe Droid, which I think is a pretty cool release. I'm definitely always happy to get more Imperial things into my collection, and this one has some pretty nice articulation and detailing. It's got a swivel on the head, so it allows it to rotate 360 degrees. It's got some articulation in the legs, not as much as some of the previous releases that we've seen, which is unfortunate. They kind of just swivel, there's no rotating. It can't rotate 360 degrees on some of these legs, which is unfortunate. But it still does what you kind of need it to do. And fortunately enough, they did provide the clear stand for it. So really nice to get this one into our collections. I still think I prefer the other version that we got in the Force Link line. That one just seems, just better articulated. Some people might say that this one's a little small. I'm not sure if it's a different model or not, but regardless, it's still cool to add some variety to my Imperial probe droids and arsenal. Here we have the Viper Probe Droid, which displays nicely due to the clear stand provided. While there's not much to this figure in terms of dynamic posing, the multiple points of articulation in the legs allow for some variety on your shelf display. All in all, a nice addition to our Kenobi collections. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at these new figures from the Disney Parks Droid Factory Kenobi set. Feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.